Welcome back, people of Earth and elsewhere, to Spam Crackers Plays Joestar Struck, JoJo's Bizarre fan-made dating simulator. We are currently on what I am now playing as the final route, even though I probably should have tried it first, because that's how you meet all of the JoJos in one go. But, I didn't, like a doof. So, yeah, let's, see let's see where we can get with Jonathan. I don't know, I might be already mostly done with it. I don't know, because we already went through the, beach and everything. I hope it's not that short of a video. Sports aren't my thing. At all. It's loud and cramped on the bleachers, and as I weave through people in search of Jonathan, our team scores. Everyone jumps to their feet at once, nearly giving me a heart attack. I stand still amongst the cheering students and parents, waiting for the fervor to die down. Okay, the coast is clear. I start wheedling through again, careful not to step on any toes. There he is! Wow. He's really into this. Even though everyone else has taken a seat, he's still standing at the railing, cheering his heart out. I can't help but smile as I watch him. He really does love this school, doesn't he? Sports lover, hey, get out of the way! Oops! I scurry along, not taking my eyes off of Jonathan. When I'm a few feet away, he sees me and waves me over. Leslie, you made it! That's just so adorable! This might be my favorite sprite yet, next to Kakyoin. I'll be honest, I heavily debated whether to show up or not. If it was anyone other than Jonathan who had asked me to come, I would have flatly refused. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. You said this was the last game of the season, right? Right. Are we gonna get like a JoJo referenced sports name? We didn't make it to any of the big league games, but we've still had a hell of a season. Wow, Jonathan, the prim and proper teacher just dropped the H word. Well, he said hell of a. Does that count? He's really cut loose tonight. So, are we winning? Not exactly. But the boys are really giving it all they've got, and that's what's important. I turned my attention to the field just in time to see one of the football players trip over their own cleats. Two of his nearby fellow players grab him by the jersey and hoist him up. Well, they might not be the most coordinated, but they do seem to have good camaraderie. Some things are more important than winning, honestly. We both turn our attention towards the field as the players on both sides line up. There's a brief moment of peace before both sides begin running around like maniacs. The balls zoom from hand to hand in a flurry of motion that I can hardly keep up with. I don't know what's going on, but the fact that the ball is with the other team probably isn't good. Suddenly, one of our guys rushes forward. He's hot on the tail of the enemy. Come on. Our guy stumbles a bit, but only falters for a second before picking up his pace. I recognize the jersey number. It's the player who tripped on the sidelines just a minute ago before the match started. Or the set started, whatever the football thing is called. The point is, I'm rooting for the guy. Come on, you can do it! Yeah, you can do it! We both start yelling encouragement together as loud as we can. You can do it! You can do it! He's pumping his leg like crazy, but there's still about 2 feet between them. Just then, he dives at the enemy and wraps him in a bear hug. Their legs tangle together and they both topple to the ground. Yes! Great job! Everyone around us cheers so loud that it feels like I'm gonna go deaf. I hardly notice, though, because I'm yelling, too. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! I don't really understand football, but I know we didn't make a touchdown. But we're all just happy because the other team didn't make one either. It's the little victories, I suppose. After all that shouting, my mouth's pretty dry. It's not a pressing matter, but all the cheering and all the movement is starting to stress me out. I need a little reprieve from all the noise. I tap Jonathan on the shoulder and have to raise my voice to be heard over the ruckus. I'm gonna go get a drink, you want anything? What? I'm gonna get a drink, want anything? I'm okay, I'll fill you in on anything happens. What? He laughs and waves. I'm good! I wave back before weaving my way out of the bleachers. Geez, the line to the concession stand is insane. I take my place at the back of the line and try to tone out all the chaos, but it's not easy. The people in front and behind me are rowdy and loud. As is the way with sports events. I bear with it for a while, but when the line hasn't moved and I've been bumped into for the umpteenth time, I decide to just take a walk. This is so much better. I can still hear the distant clash of helmets and the roar of the crowd, but now it's distant like in a dream. I hope Jonathan isn't worrying about my absence. He's probably too caught up in the game to notice. I take a seat on the edge of the fountain and close my eyes. Ah, blessed silence. Well, semi-silence. Are you here for the football game? Oh no. Exactly my reaction. Yeah, I am. Well, I'm sorry to inform you that you're in the wrong place. He points in the direction of the football field. It's that way. It's obvious that he's being patronizing, and it makes my cheeks burn and my fists clench. Thank you. He arches an eyebrow. Sir? Dio smiles, and I notice how his teeth gleam in the low light, giving him a particularly sinister air. Wait, I recognize you. You're the student that's been glued to JoJo's side the past few months. I'm not sure how to respond to that, so I don't. Dio seems more than happy to talk for both of us. He seems particularly taken with you. He's always had a weeping heart, so I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. What are you trying to say? Dio steps closer, his grin spreading. Now, there's no need for such a hostile tone. We're just having a conversation. I become painfully aware that I'm all alone with this guy. Yeah, and that gets people in trouble. Unfortunately, I tried to avoid that as much as possible on Josuke's route. Unfortunately, I don't think there was an option for this. The distant sounds of the game suddenly seem so far away. You were sent here after a little incident at your old school. I've read your file. There's so many students at UniQ, it strikes me as odd that he would take the time to remember why I came here. Or maybe he's bluffing. I don't really want to find out if the latter is true. A problem child, not unlike the other students here. So what exactly has JoJo found in you? Another step closer. He's now towering over me, his wicked smile still in place. I thought that this was a different ending. He lifts his hand, and for a second I think that he's going to strike me, but instead a long nail presses under my chin, urging my head upward. I don't like this. I suppose your face isn't all that bad. He bends at the waist, bringing our faces close. Ah, frack, he's not gonna do that, is he? Really close. Ah! I hop on my feet so fast that Dio has to backpedal to stop this from tumbling over. We were about to go all phantom blood here. Oh, I left my stove on! Dio looks confused, which is just what I was going for. Thank you. I hightail it towards the football field. I don't even care that it contradicts my excuse to leave. I just know that guy is bad news and I don't want any part of it. I look behind myself and he's just standing there watching me go. What a creep. I don't know the half of it. I gotta find the principal's vampire ending. I'm out of breath when I finally get back. I'm sweating too, but that's more because I feel like I've just dodged some sort of bullet. Many knives, actually. Hey, where's your drink? Oh, I already downed that sucker. I was thirstier than I thought. Jonathan's face had been bright and happy, but as he looks at me, concern clouds his expression. Are you okay? Did something happen? Just then, something exciting must have went down in the game. Everyone around us stands to their feet and cheers, and it's my chance to smile and shake my head. Jonathan doesn't look entirely convinced, so I turn towards the field and start cheering with everyone else. I can still feel his eyes on me, but after a while he turns back to the game. We lost. In the hour that I've been here, our team hasn't managed to score a single time. The other team thoroughly served us. That doesn't stop any of us from cheering as the teams line up and shake hands, though. People are starting to filter off the bleachers. Jonathan doesn't make a move to leave, so I stay with him. Did you have fun? I did, actually. You sound surprised. Well, I'm not really a sporty kind of person. But I can't deny that the energy is pretty contagious. It is, isn't it? We're quiet as the spectators slowly filter out. I don't think either of us are ready to leave. Oh! I hope they aren't closed. I'll be right back. What's he worried about closing? I take a seat on the now empty bleachers. Tonight's nice. It's a little warm, but a cool breeze is blowing that makes the temperature just right. I kinda wish the night could last forever. Screaming along with Jonathan and the sounds of clashing helmets and cheers. Yeah, tonight was an absolute blast. I have returned with refreshments. He hands me a can of Coke before cracking his own open. Never mind. Thanks, Jonathan. Nothing's more satisfying than a Coke after a game. We both take a long drink. He's right. Ah, refreshing. We look out into the field. We're the only ones left. Not weird at all. It's almost unsettling how quiet it is, but with Jonathan by my side, the silence is nice. Even comforting. So, earlier when you went to get a drink, Ugh, I thought he'd forgotten about that. Truth be told, the weird incident had been pushed from my mind, or more accurately, I wanted it to be pushed from my mind. To selectively forget. Jonathan has a sort of sway over me, making me forget my worries and uneasiness. You were gone for a long time, and when you came back, you looked a little unsettled. Did something happen? Yes! Okay. We all know that honesty is the best policy. Although the last time I thought I knew what I was doing, it took forever to get the good end. So, that's why we saved. Take a deep breath. My heart is thundering all of a sudden, thinking back to the bizarre interaction I had. Yeah, something did happen. Joseph immediately looks worried, so I'm quick to put him at ease. It wasn't anything bad, it was just weird. I tell him about the encounter, and I'm tempted to leave out some of the details, like what Dio had said about mine and Jonathan's relationship, but I decided to tell the truth. The whole truth, and nothing but the truth. When I'm done, Jonathan looks not happy. I can't believe him. Why does he have to do this to me? To you? Jonathan shakes his head, clearly aggravated. He knew you would tell me this, but from your story, I know he was planning to... well, to bother you more just to piss me off. I have a feeling he knows how he was planning to bother me. I kind of have a suspicion that I know what it was too. But why? I don't really know why, it's just how he is. If I have something nice, he wants to try and ruin it in any way he can. That's what he's always done. What Jonathan tells me breaks my heart, but at the same time I feel a little happy. He considers that what we have together is something nice. I'm sorry. That's really messed up that he would treat you like that. Nothing to be sorry about. It's just the way things are. I always have to be on my toes around him. And he certainly makes sure that I stay that way. You know that he got the principal position after I became a teacher here? I know he did it just so that he could make me miserable. Ah, okay. Dang, that's dedication. Nice to know the story. That makes Jonathan laugh, a hearty, full laugh that helps melt the tension from the situation. When he sobers up, he looks at me. I'm sorry you got caught in this mess. Hey, what are friends for? A prick like Dio doesn't have the power to scare me away from you. Jonathan gives a smile that could melt even the coldest heart. Except Dio's, because, you know, he's a vampire. Leslie, thank you for sticking by me. We both take a drink. So, I glance at him as he speaks, and he gives me a smile. You said earlier that you're not into sports. Yeah. Why didn't you tell me that when I invited you? I kind of feel bad that I dragged you out here. I didn't even ask if you were into these sorts of things. I ponder his question. Why exactly didn't I tell him? There's a few reasons that come to mind, like the fact that I had nothing better to do tonight, or because I didn't want to hurt his feelings after he went through all the trouble of inviting me. But those reasons weren't why I agreed to come. We're gonna save. Honesty is the best policy. I wanted to spend time with you. I blurted out on a whisper before I can stop myself. A pretty ballsy move, I must say, but I don't regret it. I didn't really think about how Jonathan would react to the confession, but I can say with certainty that I would have never predicted the laugh he gives. The noise echoes through the empty football field, and it makes my cheeks burn. What's so funny? I'm serious! Jonathan grins and shakes his head. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. It's just that... He gives another laugh, but this one is softer. I was so nervous when I asked you to come tonight. I rehearsed it again and again in my head, and in the end, you didn't even want to go. I'm about to object, but Jonathan continues in a tender tone. But you showed up anyways, because you wanted to spend time with me. He looks up at the sky, a smile still plastered on his face. Such a simple thing, but so indescribably sweet. Thank you, Leslie. I wasn't expecting this at all. I have no idea what to say or how to react. I play it safe and take a sip from the can. I've got a question for you, too. And what's that? You said you were nervous to ask me to come out tonight. Why? Jonathan blinks slowly, and unmistakably a blush rises to his cheeks. Well, you see, he shuffles on his feet a bit and lowers his voice to a point where it's almost inaudible, even in the silence. I wanted to spend time with you two. The silence between us is deafening. My breath feels like it's trapped in my throat, and I suddenly feel light, like I might drift away with the light night breeze. Does that make me a bad person? His face, which had been glowing before, suddenly dims. I don't understand why his face is crumbling into a look of despair. Why would that make you a bad person? He looks like he's on the verge of tears, and his voice wavers as he speaks. 'Cause you're my student, and I'm your teacher. But when we're alone and laughing and spending time together, His voice rises and cracks on the last word, prompting him to snap his mouth closed and swallow. He doesn't have to finish what he's saying for me to understand what he's getting at. I swallow too. Listen, this is really scary territory. I think we both know that. But I'm 18. I'm legal. I know that doesn't make it right, but I'll be graduating soon. I'm not saying we should jump into anything, but in a few months, if we both still feel this connection, who knows? Jonathan wipes his eyes before putting on a brave smile. I'm sorry about all this. He laughs, but this time it's humorless. I can't believe I fell for one of my students. It's insane! Unorthodox! But knowing that you feel the same way, I can't remember ever feeling this happy. The silence blankets us once more. We stare at each other for a handful of seconds before Jonathan sighs. If you still feel the same way in a few months, well, as you said, who knows? Those two words forming a single question are enough to make my stomach flutter. Later, indescribable amount of time later. Piano! Oh gosh, I feel really out of place. This place is pretty high-end. I mean, it was to be expected, but actually being here is an experience. I feel pretty out of place, but luckily I spot Jonathan. Seems he got here early too. Very nice. Unlike me, he seems completely in his element here. Wow, you look really good. I give him my best finger guns. Thank you very much. Jonathan just shakes his head good-naturedly at my antics. I lightly punch his arm. Let's go get our seats. He nods in agreement, and we set off towards the theater. Is this like a theater? Like a stage theater? I went to those just last weekend. I think our seats are this way. We make our way up the aisle. It seems that our seats are pretty far from the stage. Yes, I'm not particularly bothered by it, and Jonathan doesn't seem to be either. Here we are. He holds his hand out to me in the row, and I take it with a light blush crawling to my cheeks. I mean, I get his whole shtick is to be a knight in shining armor, but I find it a little embarrassing sometimes. I let his hand go as soon as I can and take my seat before turning my nose up in exaggerated snootiness. Yes, I suppose this'll do. Jonathan smiles, but I can tell he's doing it to be polite. I'm kidding, these seats are pretty good. I know. He takes the seat next to me. I see. Okay, so I know for certain this is Dire and Straits. Background people later. A heavy silence grows between us. We both opt to watch as people filter into the theater instead of alleviating the awkward atmosphere between us. We'd been seeing each other off and on for a month. Before I had graduated, I really thought the two of us would end up in a fairy tale relationship. But now, well, we're still good friends, but it's like we're out of sync with each other. It's a weird feeling. Remembering the theater dies off as the curtain rises from the stage? I was expecting it to be like in the movies, where there's just a single chick on the stage in a fancy dress belting out some words I don't understand. Instead, the stage has been decorated to look like a rocky crag. A man in period clothing is rowing an imaginary boat. That's cool, I guess. I try to let myself go into the world the actors and stagehands have worked to build, but it's hard. Every new twist and turn doesn't make sense to me. How can it? I don't speak German. At the very least, it's entertaining to watch. I yawn and stretch my arms. Damn, that was a long play. Did you like it? Yeah, it was, interesting. I like the big monster. Jonathan laughs. They did a good job at recreating the serpent, I agree. We look at each other as we both grow quiet. Now you see, if I was classically... if I knew anything about classic whatever, I probably would know exactly what play they were at. We look at each other as we both grow quiet. Am I supposed to kiss him? That's what people usually do at the end of a date. I'm not really feeling it, though. I don't think he is, either. Well, thanks for taking me out. I'll pick up the next bill. Yeah, sure thing. Another awkward silence. Well, I need to be heading home. I'll give you a call sometime. Yeah, I'll see you around. Get home safely. You too. I give him a wave and we part ways. After this, I don't think I'll be calling him. I think Jonathan knows it too. There's just no chemistry between us. It sucks because he's a really great guy. He's just not the guy for me. And out of sync. F. What did I do wrong this time? I mean, at least it says out of sync. So here's the thing, there seems to be some... I hate to keep going back to how long it took me to do Joseph's route, but it just said end when I got that end. So... it just said end. If it had said end something else, then it would have clued me in that there were other endings, but it didn't. Maybe it's incomplete? I don't know. It's just one of the many issues here. Okay, so I'm gonna go through, I'll still be recording. If some other change I make in the late game happens, then, well, I guess we'll find out. We'll be skipping around. Well, I've been going at this for another 40 minutes or so, and at this point, I think that I'm just gonna have to do what I did last time. I'm just gonna have to go through and try for a bad ending, and seeing if that's gonna give me some sort of clue on how to get the good ending. Because there's gotta be one. I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. There's gotta be one. And I would feel really sad if this is the only ending I could get. But for now, that's just where I'm gonna have to leave it. So I just wanted to kind of continue where I left off. Welcome back, people of Earth and elsewhere. We're gonna go in, and I am going to do my darndest to, get the... You know what, I'm gonna do my darndest to get the bad ending first. And we're gonna start all the way back from the beginning. Why? And when I go for bad endings and odd endings, I always go player one. Not that it matters. Blah blah blah, I'll introduce myself to Joseph. Skip all this craziness, we don't need to worry about that. He's kind of annoying. Get to class. Nice to meet you too. Hi, I'm player one. Thank you for your introduction. We do want to do Jonathan's route, but we want to, get all the bad endings. Skip through. I want to get some of these other dialogue options as well, but that's in the meantime, blah 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 blah. So we're gonna get up this time. We're gonna do this one. We're doing the same thing. I just gotta run through this as quickly as possible. Again, I'm not sure which one of these is supposed to be the good one. Go ahead and say that, we'll make it awkward. I'll pretend it didn't happen. There's gotta be something that I can do to actually get a different version of this, right? Oh shoot, this is a different ending. Whoops! I just almost blipped myself. We've got a different, we've got something different happening here. I was just tapping on the mouse thinking we were doing something the same. I was afraid something different would happen with Dio, and now I'm getting it. I should have expected as much. This is what we get. Blah blah blah, recognize you. Please particularly take it with you. You were sent here after a little incident at your old school, blah blah blah. Problem child. He's towering over me and wait for this. I suppose your face isn't all that bad. Really close. I want to run, but it feels like I've been frozen in this spot. I think his eyes should be more red. There's something about his eyes, honeygold that pierces my body, making me want to relax in the precise touch of his hand under my chin. I suppose the only way to know how you've ensnared JoJo is to get a taste for myself. When his eyes close, the spell isn't broken. In fact, it's as if it's strengthened. I know what's coming next. But I don't fight it, because I'm a moron! This is the worst. My heart feels so heavy, but my mind is like static, a white buzz of nothingness. What? Last day of school. The biggest relief in the world. Nothing short of a nightmare. That one moment of impaired judgment, that one little kiss, someone had seen it, and that someone had promptly let the entire student body know. Of course. Nothing short of a pariah, and of course the faculty found out. Officially, it was regarded as just a rumor and was eventually swept under the rug. Definitely didn't stop people from talking, though. And Jonathan, well, things just weren't the same. He was still cheery during his lessons, but ever since that day I could tell he was faking that happiness. I didn't visit him in the mornings anymore, and he didn't talk to me outside of the crowded classroom. I could have explained the situation to him. He was a good guy, and I'm sure he would have listened, but I didn't. What was I supposed to say? I guess it didn't matter anymore. With my diploma in hand, I turned back to look at the school one last time. Can't believe how much I messed things up. I stand there a long time. I think a part of me is hoping I'll run into Jonathan. Not that I'd know what to do if that happened. I sigh and turn towards home. You thought that you would kiss a JoJo, but it was me, Dio. Fascinating! Is it weird that I find this ending more satisfying than the regular ending? The bad ending? At least I got kissed! Okay. Again, I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. Now I'm getting frustrated. I might have to find the good ending on the off time. Whatever. We'll see what happens. This video isn't coming out until I find the good ending and have recorded it. Welcome back, people of Earth and elsewhere, to Spam Crackers Tries. Until I get the good end for Jonathan in JoJo's Bizarre Dating Sim made by fans. I'm not getting up until I get it. Let's see if I can't figure out what it was I was doing wrong the other day. I might get mad and get the bad end again. Why not? And I gotta be careful while skipping dialogue, so instead I'm just gonna edit the video accordingly and not just press the skip button all the time, because that could mess things up for me. It has a couple of times. This is Joseph. We're gonna go straight to class. Okay, I introduce myself as politely as is physically possible. We have to sit in the front. Okay. Now this is one during all of my times replaying through it. I made a different choice, so we're gonna go ahead and save, because that's what's important here. Gonna talk with Mr. Jonathan, because that's what we did the first time, right? Kakyoin! I still love his cape, it's like... I don't know if there's a difference. Let's find out. Observe. I'm not ballsy enough to call out, instead I shuffle my feet and stay quiet. Comes tuned to himself as he reads over a paper. He pivots on a foot absently and catches sight of me staring, startling both of us. Oh, you're still here? I hope you aren't planning on skipping lunch. Yeah. Granola bars! I like granola bars. Saving it every single different thing because... Again, I don't know which choices are really going to affect the ending, so I guess I'll be back when we find out. Is that what I expected? Definitely different. Yep, it's all the same, so it doesn't even matter here. Overwrite this save, because it didn't make a difference. And this time we're gonna stay. Which it doesn't let me skip this time. I'm not good company either, but if you don't mind, I think I'll stay here. Again, not that I think it matters. Used to feel a little self-conscious, but as minutes tick by, I suddenly lose myself in my book and the occasional sounds of Mr. Jonathan writing. Jonathan stands and straightens his shirt absently as he makes his way to the front of the classroom again. I have to say, Leslie, I don't appreciate being lied to. He gives me a wink. You were absolutely wonderful company. For a minute, I actually got nervous again. I can feel my cheeks prickle with how fast they heat up. I'm trying to formulate a suave reply, but the door slides open and the student starts pouring in, saving me from the inevitable verbal blunder. Mr. Jonathan, sentence, blah blah blah. We've already been through this before. And now I have to deliver I need to deliver... I liked it. Because why not? And now I need to deliver homework to Jotaro. Yep, that seems like the good answer. Seems like I say. Hopefully this doesn't absolutely ruin my chances. Hello, Dio. You're a jerk. Keeping an eye on that skip button. See if it changes colors. Okay. Blah blah blah. Here we go. We're gonna talk about the trip to the beach. Keeping an eye on the skip button, but still clicking quickly through the dialogue. I've already done every single one of these. Let's imagine which one could possibly give me the best. Blah 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 blah. We'll go back and save again because I don't know. And I hate the fact that I don't know. I really do think that there should be a an illustration for this volleyball thing. July, here we go to the sports thing. And now I just wait. I'm keeping an eye on the skip button while skipping through everything. Because I have it set to where it won't let me skip dialogue that I haven't already seen. Here comes this crap again. This isn't even the fun ending for this encounter, so just keep going. Okay, honesty is the best policy. I'm not sure if this is gonna make any difference, but we're going. May as well. That's the thing, if I press skip now, there are no other options. So, it's just gonna skip right to the ending that I've probably already seen before. Bah! This bit of dialogue right here is completely, like... It sucks. I've read it so many times. It sucks. Hey, look! The skip button isn't letting me skip it! This place is pretty high-end. The skip button! This is a good omen. I feel pretty out of place here. He looks good. The aristocratic thing really suits him. You look really good. Really? Of course, I have to say the fancy cocktail party look really suits you. Well, he took the words right out of my mouth. Or, out of my mind, I guess. Yeah, you too. Yes! You also look good. Look good. Really good. Jonathan laughs, drawing a few stares from the snooty-looking people who are milling about. I didn't mean to embarrass you. I'm not embarrassed. Your face is red as a tomato. There's no use in lying. I lightly punch him in the arm and hide my smile. Jerk. He laughs again before holding out his arm. Shall we take our seats? I pretend to take his arm begrudgingly, but in fact I'm so elated at the contact that I can hardly contain myself. Good thing he's guiding me into the theater, because I would probably run into a wall without even noticing right now. It's working, you guys! Press myself into his arm as we make our way up the aisle. It seems that our seats are pretty far from the stage. I'm not particularly bothered by it, but Jonathan doesn't seem to be either. Here we are. Our arms unlock before his hand finds mine and helps me to step into a row of seats. We've been dating for a little over a month now, but I'm still not used to how much of a gentleman he is. It's not a bad thing. Quite the opposite, in fact. Thank you! I like the contrast of his goofiness and his chivalrousness. I think that chivalry is the word you're looking for. We don't need to add any more, syllables to it. I sit down primly before turning my nose up in exaggerated snootiness. Yes, I believe this will do. Jonathan barely contains a grin as he bows deeply. I'm glad the seat is to your liking, Your Royal Highness. I factored in everything from the sweetest spot for reverberations to the ideal placement of the ventilation. You know what? Joseph says crap like this too when he's flirting. I'm the first one to break character with a snort. He's just too good at this faux nobility thing. How can I even compete? You can't. Jonathan laughs too as he takes his seat next to mine. I still can't believe we won these tickets. Me neither. We should start going to all the free art shows we can and just cash in on all the raffles and prize drawings. And the free food. If we get good enough at it, we'll never have to work again. Living entirely off of opera tickets, gift baskets full of knickknacks, and cocktail weenies doesn't sound bad at all. The theater is slowly filling with people. It seems the performance is going to be starting soon. I'm getting a little excited. Me too. It's been ages since I've been to something like this. I'm not surprised that he's been to something like this before. All of the dates he's chosen have been at some pretty fancy places. It's been an interesting experience for me, and I'm sure he'd say the same about all the lowbrow places I've chosen. We've definitely made an interesting couple. The murmuring of the theater dies off as the curtain rises from the stage. I was expecting it to be like the movies, with just a single chick standing on the stage in a fancy dress, belting out some words I don't understand. Instead, the stage has been decorated to look like a rocky crag, and a man in period clothing is rowing in an imaginary boat. Honestly, I'm enthralled. I might not know what is being sung, but the mood and the music, the scenery, and the acting on stage helps paint the picture of what's happening. I'm so into it that I gasp when a giant cloth monster snakes its way onto stage. Over the music, Jonathan must hear me, because the next thing I know, a warm hand is squeezing my own. I look over and we share a smile as our fingers lace together. We both turn back to the opera. His thumb strokes the top of my hand as we look on. I feel dazed. It's the same feeling I get when I've just watched a really good movie. It's like waking up from a dream. Did you like it? Like might be an understatement. We should definitely do this again. We could set a day and go every month, but only if you take me back to that comedy club we went to last week. It's a deal. Jonathan laughs. I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. I would have never gone to something like this if we hadn't met. Oh, is that so? He introduced me to so many new and fun things. It makes me excited for every new day. I didn't know that a feeling like this was even a thing. I lean in close to him. You're amazing, Jonathan. Hey, you stole my line. I know there's people around us, but I'm so lost in the moment that they might as well not be there. Jonathan looks like he feels the same way. I raise up on my toes as he leans down. Our kiss is chaste, but it lingers like a sweet dream. A dream I never want to wake up from. Ending. I'm hot for teacher. On that note, I don't know if I could reach Jonathan even standing on my tiptoes. That being said, yes, I did it! I got the final good end! Which I'm gonna say that's what it was, even though they called it something else. Not that I minded. That was fun. And I still have some more things to explore. As I was looking at the gallery after I got the not good end, it was better than the neutral end, honestly. I'm probably gonna say that a lot. Because it says that I am missing a Jonathan here. It says 1 of 2. I'm not sure what any of these mean. Like, are these choices that have to be made? If that is, then I'm not exactly sure. Are these choices? Exactly. I'm missing some. What's funny is I didn't even get this. I don't know where this picture comes from. I didn't get it. Not that I'm disappointed that it's here, but apparently I have everything for Jotaro, and whatever. Did I miss it? Was I just that stupid? Did I miss it? And it looks like I've gotten most of, if not all of Josuke's, but it looks like, again, I don't know exactly. I don't know if these are based off of choices I made or what. We've got all the kissing faces. Why isn't Joseph's in here, though? I know I got his good end. I went... Let's not go into this. Let's not. We're missing Joseph and Josuke in here for some reason. Unless... It's not about the endings, is it? Because I only got one ending for Jotaro. I've still got some exploring to do. And one of the things that I have to explore is I've unlocked every single track in the game except for this theme. The nurse doesn't have his degree, which is Kira's theme song. Because, you know, at some point, I'm gonna feel sick and just gonna need to go see the nurse, apparently. And with that, we're just gonna rifle through everything. There we go. With that, I've gotten all of the good endings, and that, gallery can't tell me otherwise. Thank you for joining me here. That's gonna be all for this. I'll get back around to the game soon, and I will get other endings. I still need to get, like, Jotaro's neutral ending, and the bad ending if I really want to. I need to get Josuke's bad ending, and or the dead end, which I know comes with his. And I think that's all. But I guess we'll find out. Thanks for watching, people of Earth and elsewhere, and I hope to catch you in the next video where I just search for things, I guess. Bye, ciao!